Welcome to this HTML crash course. I am Ogodiran Ayobami. In this course, I'm going to show you how to use HTML, its tags, and some of its attributes step by step. All you have to do is to pay attention to everything. Now, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. HTML structure. HTML is structured as a DOM tree. The DOM tree is similar to the structure of a family tree. Like in this image, the mother has 3 children or descendants. So, the relationship between the mother and her children is known as parent-children or ancestor-descendant relationship. That is important because if you know the relationship we have between and among HTML tags, it will be very easy for you to interact with them with a scripting language like JavaScript, and you'll be able to make use of HTML properly when you are writing a HTML code. So it's important to understand the relationships we have between and among HTML tags. Also, the children are siblings to one another, so they have sibling relationship just like in a family tree. This image shows how it can be represented in HTML. This is its opening tag, this is its closing tag. Its descendants are between its opening and closing tags here. So that is what HTML structure looks like. Let's see how it is similar to HTML DOM tree. As presented in this image, HTML is the parent of both the head and the body tags. The head tag is the parent of both the title and the link tags. And the body tag is the parent of both the header and the div tags. This is obviously similar to the first image we saw. So that is to tell you that HTML DOM structure is similar to a family tree. So if you compare the two, it will be very easy for you to think through HTML code because you will understand easily because it has been related to what you really understand, family tree. Then you understand what family tree is. This is how it can be shown as HTML code. You can see here we have the HTML tag. It has both head and body tags as its children, and here the head has title and link tags as its children, and here the body has both the header and the div tags as its children here. So that is the structure of any HTML page. Let's see the basic structure of all websites. Every website such as google.com has the basic structure like this one. You see HTML, head, title, body, and things like this. So every website, no matter how big or how small it is, has this basic structure. All websites have this basic structure. Let me quickly show you these things on Google. This is the Google page, right? Let us right click on it and go to view source code. Then it will bring out all the code we have on this page. Now check it. Wow, you see, you are doing what Google is doing too. You can see that we have this HTML tag here. This is the HTML tag, the head tag, the title tag, and you see here. Okay, let's scroll to the bottom of the page. Wow, this is the closing of the HTML tag and the body tag. So that means we are doing what Google is doing too. That's important. So you are doing what Google is doing. That is the basic structure of any HTML page. Be it big or small, you need to understand that. Stay tuned. HTML tags. HTML tags are predefined keywords that are used to instruct web browser on how to format and display the content provided. Features of HTML tags. Every HTML tag has these brackets. For instance, if you write the header tag, it starts with a greater than and ends with a less than. So all HTML tags have these brackets. Every HTML tag is designed to perform a specific task. That is to say, all HTML tags have different functions. predefined functions. Also, we can say they are different from one another because they are meant to be used for different purposes. Most HTML tags have opening and closing tags, except some of them that only have opening tag. For instance, the line break tag and the image tag. Any HTML tag with only opening tag cannot have descendants. Children, you can see this code. HTML has two children, head and body. That means we nest head and body in HTML tag. But if it does not have this closing tag, that means it won't be able to include these children in it. So any HTML tag that only has an opening tag cannot have descendants. That is it. What are HTML attributes? HTML attributes are special words used inside the opening tag to control the element's behavior. You will realize that in this case, this red class is the attribute. This is the name of the class or the value of the class, right? And this ID is an attribute, and this Ayobami is the value of the attribute. And you should notice that after writing this div tag, we put a space before we write the attribute. And before we write the ID attribute, we put a space. So you have to pay attention to that because that is a common problem or common errors beginners always make. So you should pay attention to that. It's very important. Some attributes are global. That is, all HTML tags have them, e.g., the class and ID attribute. To explain the class attribute, let me ask you this question. Who is this man? Bill Gates. Is he the only billionaire in the US? No. So, billionaire is a class because it refers to a status where a person has an estimated net worth of $1 billion or in other currencies. Whoever has that net worth is a billionaire, and such a person belongs to a class of billionaire. In terms of HTML code, billionaire in that case is a class because all HTML tag can use it. It's not restricted to a particular person or a particular HTML tag. That is to say, many HTML tags can have that class attribute. So once other tags can use it, that means it is a class, right? So that takes us to another attribute. To tell you about this one, let me ask you this question. How many Microsoft do we have in the whole world? Just one. So Microsoft is unique and it refers to just a company. That is, it is an identity of a company. Microsoft in this case is an ID because it is unique and refers to just a company. Similarly, ID is a unique attribute of an element. That means it can only be used once on a page and it can only be used once by a tag. So we cannot use an ID several times on a page. We can only use it once because it is unique. It is an identity of a particular element on the page. So it is unique. Also, some tags attributes are specific to some tags. That means not all HTML tags can use them, e.g. href, src, and so on. All these HTML attributes are specific to some HTML tags. They are not global like class and ID attribute. In this course, you will learn about several HTML attributes. All you have to do is to keep watching. We are going to show you everything by example through practice, and you will internalize everything while you are learning how to make use of them in the real world. So stay tuned. In this lesson, I'll show you how to download Visual Studio Code for Windows. We will create a folder and a file for our website and launch it in VS Code. Let's get started. The first thing you have to do is to go to google.com, then search download VS Code. It will show links for you to download VS Code. Click the first link and it will take you to where to download it. There are installers for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS here. Download any VS Code installer that is compatible to your computer. In this lesson, we are downloading VS Code installer for Windows. Click on Windows Installer. It will pop up a dialog. Then click Save File. It will start downloading. You can see here, it is downloading. After downloading the installer, locate it and double click it to install it. Then click Run. Then Accept. You can select any option you like here. I select this one alone. Then click Next. Voila! It is now installing. Finally, we have to click on Finish to end it. VS Code has been installed and it is time to open it so that we can use it. Let's quickly create a folder for our website. Right click on the screen and go to New, then click on Folder. In this case, I set the name of the folder to my website. The next thing to do is to launch VS Code. Search in the Windows search bar by typing Visual Studio Code if you are unable to locate it on your computer. Here, it pops up, then double click on it to launch it. It has been launched now, so let's quickly open our folder and add a file to it. There should be a navigation bar that includes File at the top left of your screen. If it is not there, press the Alt key. Then it will pop up. Then click on File and click again on Open Folder. Let's locate my website folder on the desktop page of our computer. Make sure you are on the desktop page, then look for my website. Click on it and click Select Folder. Yeah, it is opened now. Let's add some of the files we use in this course. Hey, wait, I will not add all of them. You will add the rest yourself. You need to do it yourself too. It is very important. Okay, let's continue. Come here, click on New File and type the name of the file. In this case, I type card.html. I repeat the same process to create landingpage.html. Then, let's create another folder within my website. Come here and click on New Folder and type the name you want. In this case, I type Assets and so on. Don't worry if you don't get it right now. I have included a complete directory for you. So you just have to download it and work with it. So you have nothing to worry about. I get you covered. That is what we have done. We have created VS Code for our working environment now, and we have been able to create a folder for our website. Then we are going to launch it. So that is how it works. We have launched it now, so you can see it now. You can pick any file you want to work with. You can create file and be working with it. So that's it. The next thing is to keep working, keep writing code in any of the file you choose. So that's it. See you in the next lesson. Bye for now. HTML has a lot of important tags, and we are going to start with meta tags. What are meta tags? Meta tags or elements are tags used in HTML document to provide structured metadata. What do I mean by structured metadata? Structured metadata is a set of data that describes and gives information about a web page. So everything we are going to talk about here gives information about the web page. Let's use the meta tag. The first thing we are going to do is to use the meta tag and set its charset attribute to UTF-8. Why do we do that? We set it to UTF-8 so that we can make use of a character encoding that is capable of encoding all characters on the web. A website can have English language, Mandarin, French, and some other languages. That means the browser needs to be able to render those character codes. So that is why we set it to UTF-8, because that is what makes the browser really understand most of all the character codes we have. For your information, it replaced ASCII code as the default character encoding. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to use another meta tag and set its name attribute to author and its content attribute to Ayobami. And by doing that, we set the creator or the owner of this page. Next, we write another meta tag and we set its name attribute to description, its content attribute to smart learning map. By doing this, we give a description to this web page so that it will be useful for locating it through search engines and things like that. So that is why we do that. We give it a description of what it stands for. Now, the next thing is we use another meta tag and we set its name attribute to keyword and its content attribute to HTML5, CSS3, and secret. This is to indicate that the terms, the keywords we put in the content are the major things that we have on the web page, and these are the keywords on the web page. So by doing that, we set the keywords that can be found on the web page. We also introduce the meta tag again and we set its name attribute to viewpoints and we set its content to width equals to device width, initial scale equals to 1. So this is just to make sure that the web page is properly displayed in different screens such as desktop, tablet, and mobile. That is why we make use of that. And the next one is we introduce another meta tag and we set its name attribute to robots, its content attribute to no index, no follow, to instruct web crawler or robots not to index the page or follow the page. So that is used to instruct web crawlers that crawl the web page. There are so many other HTML tags, and in this case, I will introduce you to some of them and briefly talk about their uses. We are going to use them in details when we are actually using them to build things, because in this course, you are going to learn by example. So I'll quickly introduce you to some of the tags we have. We have the comments tag, and it is used to describe things we want to do or we want to achieve, and we don't want such a thing we write to display to the users. So anytime we want to write anything in the web page and we don't want it to be displayed to the users, but we only need it as an instruction for us or a guide for us, so we use the comment tag. This is the comment tag. Next to that, we have the doc type. The doc type is what we use to set the type of HTML we are using, and in this course we make use of HTML5 because that is the latest. So that is what we go for. You can see here this is an anchor tag and it is used to link two or more web pages. If you want to link a page to another page, you make use of the anchor tag. Also, we have the heading tag 1 to 6. What are they meant for? They are used to create headings for our HTML pages or for the sections of our HTML page. That is what they are used for. Also, we also have the head tag. The head tag defines information about the document, things that are about the document and things that instruct the document, not what we want the users to see. Those kind of information, they are meant to be in the head, like metadata. They are meant for the document, not for the users to see or to use. The next thing is the header tag. The header tag is a semantic HTML tag that is used to create a header for a document or section of a web page. We have the HTML tag that defines the root of an HTML document. So every HTML document must have HTML tag first because it's what shows what we are doing and it shows the root of the document we are dealing with. The I tag is also an important HTML tag. The I tag defines a part of text in an alternate voice or mode. That is to say, we can use it to italize and even set icons for our web pages. We have iframe. Iframe is used for inline frame. Maybe you want to include an external web page on your web page. You can use iframe to do that. For instance, you may want to include some YouTube video on your web page, so you can use iframe to include them. You can also use iframe to display a whole website, a whole external website on your own website. Maybe you want to display a part of Facebook on your website, you can use the iframe tag. We also have the image tag. The image tag defines image. When you want to use images on your website, you use img tag to define it. So I will show you how to use everything. I'm just trying to introduce you to them. We have the input tag. The input tag is used to make forms. When you are trying to sign up on a website, you will see a place where you put your name, password, and things like that. The input tag is used to achieve those things. So it defines an input control. We have the article tag. It defines an article on our page. So we use article so that it will be meaningful on seeing it. That is why things like that are introduced in HTML5. Add more meanings to HTML tags. So it is a semantic HTML tag because it suggests what it does. Aside. Aside defines content aside from the page content. Imagine you have page content and you want to just create something aside from the page content, then you use aside to achieve that. Just as the name suggests, it is used to add another content aside from the page content. It is also a semantic HTML tag because it suggests what it does. At the same time, we have the audio tag. The audio tag defines sound content. If you want to add MP3 or anything audio, anything sound to your page, you use the audio tag to achieve that. We also have the B tag. The B tag is used to make your text bold. That is what it is used to achieve. The block quote defines a section that is quoted from another source. Imagine on your website, you quote a person. You use the block quote tag for such a thing so that you will know that this is a quote. That is what we use that one to achieve. The body tag defines the document's body, and we are going to show you how it is properly used by the time you dive deeper in using these things, because in programming, what is important is how to use these things. And when you use them, you will know how to use them subconsciously so that you won't need to memorize them. And it is important not to memorize them. You use them so that you store them to your subconscious mind. That is why everything or most things in this course are based on practice, are based on showing you through example or through practice so that you can also learn everything by doing. Let me continue to introduce you to these ones. We have the BR tag. It defines a single line break. Imagine you have two elements that are on the same line, but you want one of them to go down. Then you use the break tag to break that to another line. So it defines a single line break. That is what the BR tag is used for. And here we have the button tag, which defines a clickable button. As the name suggests, we use it to make buttons you see on the web page. So that is what it is used for. We have canvas. The canvas tag is used to draw graphics on the fly via scripting, usually JavaScript. So when you want to draw things, maybe with using JavaScript on your website, most of the time you make use of canvas. That is what it is meant to achieve. It is meant to be used for drawing graphical things on web pages. The caption tag defines a table caption. When you have a table now, you want to give it a name or a caption, you use the caption tag to achieve that. And we also have a label tag. The label tag defines a label for an input element. Like you want to set the name of an input tag, then you use the label tag to achieve that. You also have the list tag. So the li tag defines a list item. It is meant to indicate an item. So anytime you have a lot of items and you want to display them, you can use the list tag to display them, and each of them will be represented with an li tag. So that is what the list tag is meant for. We also have the main tag. The main tag specifies the main content of our document. Every website has its main part. In order to make it more meaningful, then the main tag is used to define the part of our web page that is the main part of our website. That is what we use the main tag for. We also have meter. Meter defines a scalar measurement within a known range. It is used to achieve things like measurements, indicator of a battery or things like that. So we use meter to achieve such a thing. We have the nav tag that defines the navigation links, to move from one place to another or from one page to another page on a website. You use a nav tag to achieve that. The object tag is used to define embedded object. Imagine you want to add a YouTube video on your web page. You can use object to include that too. We have the OL tag, and it stands for ordered list. When you want to list things orderly, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, things like that, you make use of the OL tag, ordered list tag. That is what you make use of. We have the table tags. We have so many tags here, and we are going to make use of all of them in this course. This is just an introduction to some of them. So all you have to do is to make sure you try to know what they do and not try to memorize them. It is important not to memorize them. It is important to use them. That is why our attention is not solely focused on just telling you the HTML tags and what they are meant for. Use them to achieve some results, and you will learn how to use them subconsciously in a practical way. You are going to learn everything by example. Stay tuned. Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I will show you how to use img tag in HTML. The first thing you should know is that the img tag is used to add an image to a web page, and that is the sole purpose, and I'm going to show you how to use it right now. So the first thing we are going to do is to write the tag itself, img. So img has a major attribute known as src, and that is where you will insert the link or path to the image you want to display on the page. For instance, the page I want to display has the path like this, m.png. So, and you can see it is closed right now, and it also has another attribute known as alt attribute, and it is where you will put the text you want to display if the image is not found, so that it won't be blank to the users or the screen readers. So that is why we use the alt attribute, and in this case I set it to Ayobami, and that is what will be displayed if the image is not found, and it will also be displayed to the screen reader. So by the time we save this, you will see that an image will be displayed on the screen right here. So let's save it and see what happens. You see, voila, that has been done. So we've solved the problem. See you in another lesson. Bye for now. Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I will show you how to use the heading tag. When I say heading tag, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6 tag. and I am going to show you how we use them. The first thing we have to do is to write the first one, the H1, and see what happens. So you can see when we write this is the H1, right? And we save it, you see what shows up. You see H1, it is big, right? So the header tag, it used to create headings for web page, and in this case you can see this one is big. By the time we change it to H2, right, it will be smaller. This is the H2, and save it. You can see it is smaller. If we change this one to H3, it will be smaller because this is the H3, right? It is smaller. And the H4, this is the H4. Save it. And H5, this is the H5. Save it. And H6, this is the H6. So you can see it is getting smaller as we are changing it. So those ones are used as heading tags. But the question is, when can we use heading tag? Imagine you have a landing page, right? And you want to just write maybe an introduction to your to what you do on the landing page. You can use the heading tag or any of the heading tags to enclose that, because it is also useful for SEO, search engine optimization. It is useful. So, and by using this, you can easily have a preformatted text, like something that is bold, like you want it like that. So although you can also use your style sheet to change it to add some other flavor to it, but the most important thing is that you have bigger fonts and bold text by the time you make use of them. That is why you use them straight away. So that is how to use the heading tags. See you in another tutorial. Bye for now. Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I will show you how to link two pages together with the anchor tag. So let's get started. This is the first page, right? And let us create our anchor tag, href. The anchor tag has a major attribute known as href, and href is where you put the paths to the other HTML you have. So let us just do that right now. This is the first one, and we want to link from here to another HTML page we have in our file, in the same file with this one. So let us just put one here. I have a lot of them here. I'll just put header.html, right? Let us just close it like this, and we'll put, check out this header. By the time you save it, you see what we have here, right? And the next thing you can do is just click on this and you see what happens. It is an hyperlink. We use it to link two or more pages together. We have linked from this page to another page called header.html. By the time we click here, it will take us there. You see what happens? You are here now on another page. That is how to link another page. And you can also link back to this one by putting another anchor tag on this page too, that will take you back here. That is it. But there is something I should tell you. Maybe you want to put like www.google.com if you really want it to work, because of the kind of URL we are using. It has to be absolute. So in this case, if you want to link to Google, you just have to put https, right? You can now do www.google.com. Then you'll be able to link to google.com. So you can now say, check out Google, right? You can write whatever you like. It doesn't have to be Google. So let's go back to the former page, and you can see it has changed. So by the time you click this, it will take you to google.com. So you can see here, if the internet is connected, it will take you here. So, but if I remove the HTTPS or HTTP, it will not take you to google.com. It will be displayed on your local host, and that is not what you want. It won't display. It will show an error. So let us do that again. I have saved it. Click it. You see what happened? You see? So that is it. That's what I want you to get. Thanks for watching this tutorial. See you in another tutorial. Bye for now. Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I will show you how to use div tag in HTML. Div tag is used to create section or division in HTML documents. Most of the time, we use it as a container so that we can move or apply CSS to other elements we put inside it. So let me show you how we use it. This is a div tag, right? So we can just add class attribute to here and we make it a section. Let's say we make it header section. So we have used it to create a section for our web page now. This is the header section of our web page. Don't forget, you can achieve the same thing, this one, with semantic HTML like the header tag, like this. So with this, you can achieve the same thing. This ones and this one, they are obviously the same thing. That is also possible here. But what I'm trying to point out is that we use it to create a section for our web page. That is the first purpose. And we can also put another HTML tag inside it like this. So it is a container for this one. So src, and we say me.png, and we save it like this. And when you save this, you can see we have my picture here. This is the picture. So this is a container, right? That is the header section of our page. So we use div to create a section and we use it as a container for our HTML tag. Anytime we want to move this HTML tag around, it will be easy, or we want to use it alongside other elements, it will be easy. So most of the time we use div tag to create section in HTML document, and that is what I have demonstrated here. So that is the common way to use it. You can create several sections with it, like div, and you can call this one main class. You can just say class, you set the value to main. That is another section. Within this one, you can also have something like, we have a div and you call it class, you call it card, right? That is another section within this one too, right? So inside this one, you can still use div to create another section. We have div and we name the class attribute or any attribute. In this case, I use class attribute and I call it card title. You see? And I can just write anything here. This is the card title. So that is it. And the next thing we will do is we still have another division in it. So we have div and we set the class attribute to card body, right? We can make this one card header and we make this one card body. So you can just write anything here. This is the card body. So that is it. You can see how I use it to create section, and you can see I have used it for all the things I have said. I have used div tag as a container. You can see this one contains others. I have used it to divide this web page to sections. So I have main section, card header, card body, and so on and so forth. So that is how to use div in HTML. Try to play around with this and check other websites and you'll see how they use it. It's just like this. So thanks for watching this tutorial. Bye for now. See you in the next one. Welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, I will show you how to use the header tag in HTML. The first thing you should know about the header tag is that it is an HTML introduced in HTML5, and it is a semantic attribute that suggests what it does. When you see header, it is used to create a section or an header section of a web page. So anytime you see header, you know that it represents the header section of a page. So it is a semantic HTML tag. Most of the time, we use it as the header of a page. For instance, let's say we have this, and for you to know what I mean by header, let me just quickly use basic CSS style so that you will see what I mean by header, like you see it on Facebook and things like that. Let us just select the header tag, and we set its height to just 80 pixels, right? And let us set its color to black so that you can see it. Background color to #0000. Save it, and you see what happened. So this is what I want you to see. You can see it looks like what you see on Facebook, Twitter, and all of them. So this is the header part, and the header tag is always used to achieve that. Mind you, you can also have a lot of other elements inside the header tag, but I just want you to know that the header tag is used as the header section of a page. Thank you for watching this tutorial. See you in another lesson. Bye for now. Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I will show you how to use the I tag, which is known as the italic tag. It is mostly used to set a font in another mode or context. Let's say, for instance, you have been writing something and you want to make it stand out. If you use this I tag, it will italize whatever you write inside it. Italize this. Now save it. You see what happens? It's italicized. You can put technical things or foreign language inside it to cast a special attention on them. And another way to use it is you can use it to display fonts. You can use this I tag to display fonts, right? And you can also use it to display fonts, maybe when you are using Font Awesome and some other things like that. So it has technical purpose too, like that. So thanks for watching this tutorial. Bye for now. Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I will show you how to use the pre-tag in HTML. The pre-tag, it is a preformatted tag. Anytime you want to write preformatted text that has been formatted already, you can use the pre-tag so that it will automatically be formatted in its own way. So by the time you put it like this, so it is pre-formatted. Just put this is pre-formatted and save it. You see what you have here. By the time you reload it, okay, let's go back here and reload it. You see, this is pre-formatted. You can see if you write another thing here, you will see it will be different. This is not pre-formatted, right? You see the difference. There is no style here. This one has been pre-formatted for you. So if you want to just go with that format, you can just use pre-formatted, because you don't want to maybe tamper with it with CSS and you want to use it straight away like that, because it has been pre-formatted, it has its padding and everything already. So that is why we use pre-tag. So it is pre-formatted, unlike this one that nothing has been added to it. So that is it. Thanks for watching this tutorial. See you in another tutorial. Bye for now. Welcome Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I will show you how to use the span tag in HTML. So the first thing you have to know is that we use the span tag to group elements that are meant to be displayed in a line. When you want your elements to display on a line with other elements, you can wrap them in a span tag. Let's say, for instance, I just write like this. I write, this is a span tag, right? And you save it. You see it's on a line like this, right? The next thing you can do is, let us write another span tag and see what happens. Span, this is another span tag. You save it, you see what happened. You see they are on the same line instead of this one coming to another line. If this one is a block element, it will come down here, but it's on the same line with this. So that is the major purpose of the span tag, because it stays on the line, on a line with others, and that is why we make use of it like that. So imagine we change this one to a div. You will see what happens. Now change it. You see it comes to another line here, and that is the major difference. We have done that. Thanks for watching this tutorial. See you in another tutorial. Bye for now.